Dear students, let's start the next part of our topic, determination of pH of the soil. As we already know that what is the meaning of this particular pH. The pH, the soil pH is the negative logarithm of active hydrogen ion, that is H plus ion, in concentrated solution of the soil itself, isn't it? So what is the pH of soil? The soil pH is the negative logarithm of active hydrogen ion concentrated in the soil solution. So what it can be measures? It can be measures the soil basicity, soil acidity and neutrality, isn't it? So whether our soil is basic in the nature or acidic in the nature or neutral in the nature, it can be measures. Again, what it can be measures? It can be measures or it can be tells about availability of nutrient to the plants, which nutrients are present, how much content they are present, whether they are micronutrients, macronutrients. It all can be defined by this particular pH. And again, also effect of microbial population in the soil. Microbial population is nothing but what? Which are the microorganisms which are present in the soil. Microorganisms, I have already told about that. Some of the for the nitrogen fixation we need nitrosomonas bacteria or azobacter, or some fungi we need that microbial population, some microorganisms which are need for the plant growth. It can be tells by this particular pH, which medium it can be grow properly, whether acidic medium, basic medium or neutral medium, it can be tells us. Okay, that is microbial population in the soil. Next, most of the nutrient elements are available in the pH range of what? 5.5 to 6.5. Okay, so what is the introduction? So what is the introduction part over here? Here pH, the soil pH is the negative logarithm of active hydrogen ion, that is H plus ion concentrated in the solution. What it can be measures? It can be measures acidity, neutrality and basicity. Again, it can be also measures the availability of nutrient materials which are present for the plant, and also it can be affect microbial population in the soil. And most of the nutrient elements are available in the pH range of how much? 5.5 to 6.5. Now let's define or let's see the pH range. If pH range of our particular soil, when you measure in the pH meter, if it is less than 4.6, then our soil which will be there, it is extremely acidic in the nature. Okay, again it can be defines the color also. Next, if range more than this one, means 4.6 to 5.5, only one difference is there, isn't it? So our soil is strong acidic in the nature. Next term, again one difference, 5.6 to 6.5, 5 to 6, only one difference. These are moderately acidic in the nature. And again 6.6 to 6.9, it is slightly acidic. And lastly for the 7, it is neutral in the nature. As you know, the normal pH range of any solution, you already know about that in the acid base concept. pH range, if it is only 7, then our compound is of neutral in the nature, and if it is below than that, it is acidic, and if it is above than that, it is basic in the nature. The same way here also same thing may happens. Here below 7 and less than 4.6, it is extremely acidic. 4.6 to 5.5 strong, 5.6 to 6.5 moderately, 6.6 to 6.9 slightly, and 7 is of neutral itself. And after that again 7.1 to 8.5 moderately alkaline. Again more than 8.5 which are there, they are strongly alkaline in the nature itself, isn't it? Now in this all ranges, which is the favorable for the crop yield or more crop yield is, that is 6.0 to 7.5, this particular range which will be there, it is more favorable for what? Good crop yield. Again next term is what? Consider if our soil is acidic in the nature or if it is basic in the nature. So what we supposed to do for that? Which are the remedies we have to do for that? We will discuss over here. If our soil content more less than our pH content of our soil is less than 7.0, consider 7 is a neutral. If consider our pH is having 4.6 or 4.7 something, then what we are supposed to do? If it is acidic in the nature, we have to lime it first. Okay, before the agriculture production, we have to introduce the lime water to our soil so that acidic content may become somewhat neutral in the nature. Consider, if it is more than 8.5 our pH range, then what we are supposed to do? We have to introduce the gypsum for the soil before the agriculture production, and then it will be goes to our normal range 6.0 to 7.5, and then only we will get good crop yield over there. Okay, so let's me tell this part once again. This is the pH range. This is about the soil rating. Here pH range less than 4.6, it is extremely acidic in the nature. 4.6 to 5.5, strongly acidic in the nature. Again one difference, 5.6 to 6.5, moderately acidic, and again 6.6 to 6.9, near approx 7, slightly acidic, and this is 7 is of neutral. Next, above 7 of that, 7.1 to 8.5, moderately alkaline, and after 8.5 it is strongly alkaline in the nature, and which is the good range for the crop yield is nothing but 6.0 to 7.5. This is the good range for the crop yield itself. Again, we have to lime it when our soil is more and more acidic in the nature and before the agriculture production. And if it is basic or alkaline in the nature, we have to introduce the gypsum before agriculture production in that particular soil itself. Okay. Next part we will going to deal, that is determination of pH of soil. Okay, this is the one of the experiment where we will perform how to determine the pH of our normal soil, whether our soil is basic in the nature, acidic in the nature, or neutral in the nature. For that we will take here first a digital pH meter. Okay, digital pH meter. How it can be looks, as you already saw in the BSc clip, the same physical experiments which are there, conductometer you saw, potentiometer you saw. In the same way here conductometer titration, you already know that their conductometer how it can be worked. Same way here digital pH meter is there, which is having its range of pH, that is 0 to 14 pH itself, isn't it? Next, you are already familiar with pipette. Next, beaker you already know, maybe of 50 ml or 100 ml, and lastly glass rod. Okay, these are the some requirements we need for our practical, which we have performed over here, determination of pH of soil itself, isn't it? Now the next term, which are the reagent we required. Here buffer solution we need. You know already the meaning of buffer solution, not need to tell once again what is the meaning of buffer. Okay, which is having its pH range. One is of acidic, that is 4, one is of basic, that is of 9, and one is of neutral, that is 7. Okay, buffer solution of pH range 4, 7 and 9 it must and should be have. Okay, this is first solution or first reagent we need. And after that we need over here calcium chloride, that is CaCl2. That is how much we need, 0.0 molar solution we need over here. For preparation of this solution we require over here 1.47 gram of calcium chloride we have to dissolve in the 1 liter of water. Okay, so this is about the reagents we need for our lab or for our practical or for this particular experiment itself. Then reagents, again once I will tell you that buffer solution we need of range pH 4, acidic, basic 9, neutral 7. Next we need calcium chloride having its concentration 0.01 m, having 1.47 gram of CaCl2 dissolved in 1 liter of water. Next, just to see the procedure. Before, as you already know how your conductometer you are calibrating, isn't it? That is for 1.00, isn't it? Same way here we have to calibrate our pH meter using two buffer solutions. One should be the buffer of neutral pH, that is 0, and other should be base round soil. Whether it is acidic or basic doesn't matter. But one should be we have to calibrate with of 7. Okay, next after that what we have to do? Buffer solution we have to take in what? Beaker. Again we have to insert in that electrode. As you dip the electrode in the conductometer, same way. Alternatively two solution, one should be of 4 and another should be of 9. Now we know already the buffer solutions pH, one is 4, another one is 9, one is 7. Same way we will get instrument reading as such, that we called it is as a sampling. Okay, so let me tell you once again this part. We have to calibrate our pH meter by using the buffer solution, and as we already know that buffer solution having its pH 479, first we have to take two buffer solutions. One is of maybe of 7, another one is of 4, or one is of 7 and another one is of 9. Any two we have to take. Then we will get our, if when you dip that electrode in that particular beaker containing the buffer solution, what will happen, we will get our pH reading maybe which is we are took over there. That is, one is 4 we took, then we will get 4 reading. Another one we took 7, we will get 7 reading. And if you took 9 particular containing buffer solution, you will get 9 reading. And again 7 you took, you will get 7 reading. That is our sampling. Okay, calibration of our pH meter we have did by using what? Buffer solution. This is the first part of our experiment. I hope you have understood. Calibration means what? Simply just imagine your conductometer, how it is having glass rod, it is having glass rods, how it can be show readings like that, it will show the readings. Then you have to just take that glass rod, you have to dip in that particular solutions. Beaker containing buffer solution consider is of 7. Then if you are dipped that pH meter will show 7 reading. Next you have to take out that again electrode, and again another solution you have to take. Consider 9 you took in the beaker, again you have to dip that glass rod. After dipping that glass rod, pH meter will show the reading 9. Okay, this is we call it as an calibrating of our samples. It means our particular pH meter is properly working over here, isn't it? This is the first part. Now the second part, we have to weigh exactly 10 gram of soil sample, which we want to know the pH of our soil. Again 50 ml or 100 ml of soil beaker, add 20 ml of calcium chloride solution. Okay, any one you beaker take, 50 ml beakers you can use or 100 ml beakers you can use. Simply you take one beaker, in that 10 gram of soil and CaCl2 solution, 20 ml of CaCl2 solution. Now after putting that in the beaker soil and CaCl2, immediately you should not just what, by using glass rod, don't stir it immediately, you don't stir it. Just put that particular solution as well as soil sample and allow that particular soil to absorb the CaCl2. Sometime you just allow it to absorb it, and after that, after 10 to 20 seconds, you just a thorough stir for 10 seconds by using the glass rod. Immediately don't stir at all. Just weigh 10 gram of soil, add 20 ml of CaCl2 and just to stay about few seconds, and after that allow to stir for how much how much seconds? 10 seconds by using what? Glass rod. Simply you have to stir it by using the glass rod. Okay, this is the fourth point. Next point, now you got the suspension over there, isn't it? That suspension you have to just dip over glass rod in that, and again you have to see the pH readings, isn't it? And lastly you're supposed to write the pH of soil, whether it is acidic pH, basic pH or neutral pH. That's supposed to mention over there. I hope you have understood this particular experiment. Okay, now let me revise once again. Determination of pH of soil requirement: digital pH meter, pipette, beaker, glass rod. Reagent, we need buffer solution having its pH range 479. Calcium chloride 0.1 m molar, 1.47 gram of calcium chloride dissolved in 1 liter of water. Procedure: calibrate the pH meter using two buffer solution. You have to use two buffer solution. One should be of 7 range, another may be of 4 or 9. After calibrating, weigh 10 gram of soil sample, add in that 20 ml of calcium chloride, stay few seconds. After that, stir it for 10 seconds. Okay, you will get suspension over there by using the glass rod. In that suspension, you just put the glass rod and see the records in the pH meter. You will get pH of your soil, that is result. Now the next term we will going to deal, that is nothing but determination of nitrogen of soil by alkaline permanganate method. Okay, in this method what you will going to learn here, in case of soil, mineralizable means directly nitrogen cannot be mineralized in the soil, isn't it? How much particular nitrogen get mineralized in the soil? How it can be estimated means it can be estimated available nitrogen content and not total nitrogen content. The easily mineralizable nitrogen is estimated by using alkaline KMnO4. Okay, so for this I will tell you first the outline of this particular experiment. Let me tell you the all part containing of this particular experiment itself. So just to start here from outline itself. Just to see your outline, in case of soils, mineralizable nitrogen can be estimated. What we are going to dealing over here, determination of nitrogen of soil by alkaline permanganate method. Alkaline permanganate, for permanganate we are using potassium permanganate KMnO4. Okay, so in case of this, how much mineralizable nitrogen is can be present, it can be estimated by using this experiment. Next, estimated by using alkaline KMnO4. And as you already know that this particular KMnO4 can be oxidized, okay, oxidize, and what it will be do? And hydrolyze. Oxidize and hydrolyze. Hydrolysis what? Organic matter present in the soil. Organic matter present in the soil. It can be oxidized and hydrolyze the organic matter present in the soil. Next, the liberated ammonia is condensed and absorbed in the boric acid, which is treated against the standard acid. And the method has been widely adapted to get a reliable index of nitrogen availability in the soil due to its rapidity and reproducibility. The process of oxidative hydrolysis is progressive and thus uniform time. Heating temperature should be allowed for the best result. Use of glass bead checks the bumping, while liquid paraffin checks the frothing during heating, as recommended in the total nitrogen estimation by Jaldas method. So let me see the outline once again part. In case of this soil, mineralization of nitrogen can be estimated. Then estimated by using alkaline KMnO4, and this KMnO4 can be oxidized and hydrolyzes the organic matter present in the soil. Next term is what? Liberated ammonia can be condensed and absorbed in the boric acid. Okay, next, which can be titrated against the standard acid. What this we have to do? We have to titrate against standard acid. We have to titrate it against the standard acid. What we have did? Liberated ammonia which will be there, which can be condensed over here and absorbed by what? Boric acid. And this particular boric acid we have to titrate it against the standard acid. And again this can be easily, we can estimate the nitrogen how much can be present over here. And this particular, the process is oxidative hydrolysis. As I already told you that KMnO4 is an oxidizing agent and also it can be hydrolysis over there. So the process is oxidative hydrolysis. Oxidative hydrolysis. Isn't it? So uniform time, heating temperature should be allow the best result. Here what we have to take in the uniform time, which are the benefit for that I am telling over here, and as well as heating temperature, uniform time we have to maintain over there, and again heating temperature we have to maintain properly for the what best result of experiment, isn't it? Next, again some of the precautions we have to take over here. We have to use glass chips, or we can tell it is as in boiling chips. Okay, I will write here boiling chips. For what? For what we have to use the glass bead chicks or boiling chips? Okay, for what we have to use these chips means to check the bumping. Okay, bumping we have to check over there. For that we have to use this particular boiling chips. Again, liquid paraffin we have to use. Liquid paraffin we have to use. For what purpose we have to use this particular liquid paraffin? We have to check what? Frothing. It will check the frothing, isn't it, during heating. And again, this particular total nitrogen estimation by which method? Nitrogen can be estimated by Jalda's method. KJELDAHL, Jalda method. Okay, you have studied this is in the PU first year, Jalda method. So let me tell the outline once again part, and next I will start the requirement, apparatus, reagent, procedure, calculation, and which are the precautions we are supposed to take over here. So let's tell you once again this part. Determination of nitrogen of soil by alkaline permanganate method. Here outline. In case of soil, mineralization of nitrogen can be estimated by using this method. By using KMnO4, this KMnO4 can be oxidized as well as hydrolyzes the organic matter present in the soil. Next, liberated ammonia can be condensed and absorbed by what? Boric acid, which can be titrated against what? Standard acid. And the process is oxidative hydrolysis. As I have already told, KMnO4 is an oxidative acid as well as it can be hydrolysis. And again, in the uniform time and heating, if you temperature maintain over there, we will get best result of our experiment. Next, here we have to use glass chips or boiling chips for bumping. To avoid bumping, liquid paraffin frothing during the process of heating, and by this method we have to estimate the nitrogen by Jalda method. Okay, now the next term, what? Requirements, apparatus. Apparatus which we need for this particular experiment, I will tell you. Okay, here apparatus. For apparatus we need over here nitrogen distillation unit. Okay, nitrogen distillation unit we need over here. And again, what we need over here? We will need conical flask, pipette, burette. Okay, conical flask, burette, nitrogen distillation unit, that is Jalda's flask. And again we need conical flask, burette and pipette. For what? Apparatus. Next we see the reagent. Next, reagent, procedure, calculation, and which are the precautions we need. It is quietly large. In one video it cannot be explained, so that I will explain in the next video, in the next class. Okay, I think you have understood today's part, whatever we have completed up to here. And if you have any type of doubt, you would please contact me at my WhatsApp number at any time. Go through the videos and write your attendance in the comment box, and please see the video, and if you have any type of doubt, contact me. Thank you.